It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, your Feel Good Breakfast Show, live, large and in charge on this Monday morning, which is Family Day, by the way. Happy Family Day to you if you didn't know. And of course, we're focusing on that today with our relationship expert, because some of you might have been very fortunate to have spent some time with family over the Easter weekend, but staying connected with our families these days is becoming increasingly difficult as we are all either distracted by technology or even family members moving out of the city or out of the country to pursue their own lives.
Exactly. So the question we're asking this morning, are you having trouble keeping your family connected, and how does your family stay connected? Well, our relationship expert, Dr. Eve, is with us today to unpack this. And if you have a question or a comment, please feel free to give us a call on 083 9133 728. Dr. Eve, good morning.
Hello.
So, Dr. Eve, let's focus and start off by talking about the importance of making sure that you schedule time for family activities and keeping those around you that you love close in a unit.
It sounds kind of absurd that you have to say schedule time for family, because family back in the day used to be the core. And you know what, it still is, and I think that a lot of people miss that. People, especially as they kind of get older and have their own families, they're very drawn back to their roots and being with their families. And I think we underestimate the importance of family. There is so much difficulty in families, meaning there's always conflict, there's always disappointment, there's always huge pleasure. So it's contentious to be together in a family, and it's difficult to always be with your family.
Yeah.
But you know what? You kind of got to suck that up, because family is what matters.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, when it comes down to pain, when it comes down to joy, the people you want to turn to is family. Yeah. I get so tortured when I hear people who say, I haven't spoken to my mother for 10 years, and then the mother dies, or I haven't spoken to my sister, and the mother died, and there was an inheritance problem, and so we're not talking to each other.
Yeah.
And I really think that people should use this as a time to think about what they value most, and I'm hoping the top of your list is going to be family.
Yeah, I want to get into that, because I think that there's a lot of people that can identify with that. But let's first talk about, you can be with your family, but being present in the moment is another completely different thing. There's the allure of technology, TVs, there's social media. How destructive is that in trying to build this connection within a family?
You know what, Leanne, I'm just thinking about a situation that I had with a couple that I was working with. And she was enormously distressed because every single Sunday they gather with her family. Yeah. And her husband comes along and they all get on incredibly well. And then the one Sunday he said, you know, I really want to play some video games. And he went inside and he separated himself from the family. He was sitting outside. And he was inside with some other of the male family members, and they were really having a good time playing video games. And she was like really, really deeply offended. And she said, we have to all sit together at the table. Why is it that you're leaving the table? This is not a good thing. We all want to get together and stay together, because people have an idealized vision of what family should look like. And I kind of had to point out to her that this is really a good sign, because it's saying that I feel so secure within this family that I'm able to move into a different room and actually do something that I really enjoy while still being connected with the family in some way. People don't have to be attached at the hip and do this idealization of we have to spend all our time together or every Sunday together. You do it, but you can do it in different ways. You want to be creative about being connected, but still having that emotional attachment to each other. So let's not be rigid about what we think we should be doing, because it leads to terrible pain. It can be very difficult if you're sitting in a family and there's fraughtness and there's tension. Make whatever you can happy.
I'm sure the families where games are being played, they're like, yes! We have a whole pass now.
Why not? You know, if there's a rugby match, does that, or whatever people watch on television, does that mean that that can't be a family experience? You want to experience things together. You want to be flexible, because the important thing is having that emotional connection, irrespective of really what you're doing. Do away with that roast.
Oh, right. Do it. Oh, I love me a Sunday roast, though. I mean, all right. So the question we're asking is, are you having trouble keeping your family connected? And how does your family stay connected? Share your thoughts with us. Share your questions with us on 083 9133 728. We'll be back with Dr. Eve shortly.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
All Right, back again with Dr. Eve on the hot seat. We're talking about keeping the family connected, how you do it. Perhaps you're having trouble with doing that. Maybe you want to ask a question about that. So give us a call on 08391333728.
Now, of course, we want to talk about, sometimes the family can't be in a physical space together. Maybe somebody moves away for studying. Maybe somebody goes and lives abroad. You get married and you move overseas. How do you maintain that connection? How do you stay connected? Because it can be very difficult if you're the only one that's out there and everybody's still back home.
It's got to feel so isolating.
Yeah.
That's where technology is just absolutely fantastic, where you can even have a Skype date where you know regularly every single Sunday we're going to meet online, and especially if you've got grandchildren, a lot of people are making use of that technology where they can still feel the connection and still be observing those children growing up or observing your life. I know when my child went away for a year, my youngest child, when I joined Facebook and she loved it. So anyway, I could kind of track what she was doing, her activities. So we use technology to still be it's vitally important that you have an update of what the other person is going through. Others, you lose each other. You lose the connection of shared memories and shared experiences. And the person comes back and there's not a lot to talk about because you have not shared those experiences together. So it's really, really vital to keep each other in your life.
Yeah.
We have a caller on the line right now. I think it's Ishwar from Durban. Good morning. Ishwar, hello. Okay, we've just lost that line. We'll try and get it back as soon as possible. I was trying to think, what are some of the simple things that families can start doing to remain connected and be in that emotional space where everyone is together?
I'm laughing, Kat, because I'm just thinking this is such a contentious topic, actually. I'm sure that every single one of our viewers are feeling an element of joy at the word family and an element of pain. There is so much like disappointment that we have because we expect a huge amount from families. We expect that they should be always there, that they're always going to support us in unconditional love, and they're not, because we each have our own lives as well. So it is a conscious process to keep connecting, to be in your life. So it's like, for example, if I know one of my children has got some event that's happening, I will totally be present and follow it up and say, how was that event? Or what happened at this meeting? Or how did you do in that exam? You want to keep in the loop of their lives, either through voice, through WhatsApp. I know a lot of families do family WhatsApp groups, and I think that that is fantastic because it's constantly you're online and you're always in the loop of everybody's life. Because families tend to split off as well, and then you have this one chatting to that one not knowing what's going on with that one, and then somebody in the family takes on the role of being what's called the central switchboard. And that's not a fun place to be. So you want to have, I love the WhatsApp family groups. I think it's a fabulous way of families keeping connected with each other.
Awesome. Well, we've got a call on the line. Anonymous from Durban, is that correct? How are you?
Yes, ma'am, I'm fine.
Good. What is your question or comment for Dr. Eve?
Ma'am, I just would like to... I have a family that where we are splitting up. Hello?
Yes, please carry on. We can hear you.
I say we have a family that's splitting up, and but I've got 4 daughters and 1 son, and we are actually being split up by my son's wife, you know?
Wow.
How do you go about by getting this unit all back together?
I'm
Thank
just
you so much
hearing,
for sharing.
I'm hearing the hesitation in your voice, and I guess that is because when one is in so much pain and trauma, it's very difficult to actually talk and to have language to express the enormous pain that brings. It seems unfair, right? That somebody from the outside comes into your family and can have so much power and control that they actually split up your family. You've got to gather your troops, you know. You yourself, first of all, have to find enormous reservoir of power and remind yourself that you are the head of this family. You are the father. You're the one who is the adult. They are children still, and they will take their lead from you. You have got to set some boundaries. You've got to have family discussions. You've got to create a situation where they are aware that you are feeling traumatized by this, and the entire family is being traumatized by this. This is a very common situation, and it's very tragic that your family, you feel as if your family is split up. It feels that way for you. Don't let it happen. You are the one who has the power, always, no matter how old your children are. Rein it in.
Thank you so much for sharing with us, Anonymous, and we
Yeah.
do encourage your calls. Please keep them coming on 083-913-3728. We'll keep Dr. Eve here in the hot seat. When we come back, I want to find out about family feuds, man. I want to talk about family feuds and how we get away from those. Right
Yes,
now, let's go
please.
over to the lads in the kitchen.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso right here on SABC3. We are continuing our chat with Dr. Eve. Of course, how do you stay connected as a family? And Kat, you had a massively important question that you wanted to ask that I
Yeah.
think a lot of our viewers can identify with this
Family
morning.
feuds, family feuds. Dr. Eve, how do you deal with family feuds, especially those that are almost cross-generational? You know, your grandma had a feud which then went through to this person now. By the time you don't even know what the feud was about, but you carry this grudge with you for some other reason. How do you begin to resolve those and bring the family together and you know, make everyone realize that it's far of far greater importance for us to be together as a family than to be hanging on to these things?
Maybe what you should do is kind of get them all together and get them to watch Romeo and Juliet. I know Shakespeare's not really relevant anymore, but that would be a great
Romeo and
thing. The ultimate drama.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
The ultimate drama.
My long sword home.
Ended in tragedy.
Of what happens when families and intergenerational feuds continue to go down the generations. It just ends up in disaster. Or it ends up, and I'm going to be incredibly irreverent now, I don't think I should even go, when families split and they lose contact with each other, you end up in situations where they meet up again and they don't know that they're family with each other. And they form what's called genetic sexual attractions to each other. It becomes incredibly complicated, but most of all, it is the source of pain, and I can't help but keep saying this. It is traumatizing that one really wants to work hard, and if whoever is the next generation, if we are the next generation of an intergenerational conflict that's come all the way through, take up that responsibility and gather up as an adult person and gather up the rest of the clan and say, this is somewhere we want to stop. Or get people of your own generation and say, you know what, let us form some kind of sense of family so that we can just let the past be gone. We do not want there to be... We do not want there to be a continuation of this trauma. It's such a waste.
Well, we've got a call on the line right now, Dr. Eve, who hasn't spoken to her family for 9 years. Anonymous, good morning. What is your question for Dr. Eve?
My question is, hello?
Hi, we're
hi.
here, Anonymous.
Okay, my question is this. I've been not talking to my mom and my sister for 9 years, and they put me and my brother on the side. I don't know where to start and what to say. Will you please help me?
So you've come to a point in your life where you are wanting to re-engage, where you've been through the trauma of it or the anger of it, and now you're saying you want to re-engage with them, Anonymous? Do you want to reconnect with them now? Do you want to?
Yes, please. I want to be. I want the family to come together again.
So what would be an obstacle to you reaching out to them and inviting them into your space and saying, I want the family to be together again? What are the obstacles that you think would be there for you?
We did try to do that with my brother, but it was in vain.
It was in vain. He didn't respond.
Yes.
He didn't
No.
respond. That's very hurtful. And your mother, has she responded to your reach out?
No.
So you have tried to reach out.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, there is a point where you have to unfortunately grieve and you have to make peace with the fact that you have tried all that you can to try and reach out and to let them know that you wanting to connect, that you miss them, that you long for them, that you want to have them back in your life. And if there isn't what we call reciprocity or there isn't a response to it, you have to go through a grieving process. And I suggest that you go to counseling for that, because it's very, very painful. It's like mourning the death of a mother and a brother, which nobody wants to do while those people are still alive. But it's finding a way for you to still live a life with that pain of loss.
Oh, Anonymous, thank you so much for calling us, and thank you for sharing your story with us. And thank you, Dr. Eve, for the advice, because I mean, it is a difficult thing, not only being able, or not being able to know what to say,
Yeah.
but on top of that, then having to face the rejection
Yeah.
that,
Absolutely.
of no response.
Absolutely,
that comes with it as
absolutely,
well.
you're right,
So
Kath.
thank you so, so much.
Bye-bye to everybody, and I will see you in 2 weeks' time, 3 weeks' time.
Thank
you're
you
on holiday?
so
I'm
much.
going
Dr.
traveling. I'm going to Montreal for a conference.
Vacation!
Hello.
Working holiday, conference in Montreal, and then I'm going to New York. So I'm
Safe
going to come
travels.
back with fabulous new information and
Wonderful.
research to share with everybody.
And gifts, please. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you also to all of our callers for your contributions
Thank
to
you.
our segment. Let's head on over back to the kitchen.